Good morning, everybody. It's Dan Banchero here for the first edition of the Dan Banchero Show officially. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about inspiration. I want to get into kind of like why I'm doing these little segments here. You know, for a couple of months now I've been complaining about the news and what people debate about and the finger pointing and the arguing and who's right and who's wrong and, you know, gossip and opinions and condemnation of all kinds I hear throughout the day. And you know, it's not helpful, it's boring, it's too easy to do. So I'd ask myself, you know, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to, you know, sit here and complain about people complaining, or am I going to make a move here? So inspiration, positivity, congratulations, and credit to others for what is good and what is right is what I'm all about. That's what I'm trying to push here. I encourage everybody to do something like this, actually, because we need more of it. Anyway, I started this channel for anyone who's struggling in life, anybody who's struggling with certain circumstances they may have, addiction, or just want to hear some good news for a change. So we're here to change it up. So I've been blessed to be to have been exposed to some different types of great ideas that changed my life, whether it's through you know, lectures or articles, scripture, self-help books, recovery-based literature, radio broadcasts, or 12-step meetings. I've been exposed to all these great things. I just wanted to take some time to share it with all of you. Maybe it'll help somebody else out, or start a new little movement here. That's the goal. So I want to start off with this reading I read in the 24 Hours a Day book. Many of you might have seen this, many of you never heard of it. But on July the 26th, it's a daily kind of like reflection thing. So on July 26th, it talks about when we come to the end of our lives on earth, we will take no material thing with us. We will not take 1 cent in our cold, dead hands. The only things that we may take are the things we have given away. If we have helped others, we may take that with us. Looking back at our lives, what are we proud of? Not what we have gained for ourselves, but what few good deeds we have done. Those are the things that really matter in the long run. What will I take with me when I go? You know, so that's quite a moving passage there. You know, I remember my old goals growing up in my early teens and 20s and early 30s. It was all about me proving my point in everyday conversation or being right, you know, to the point where I'd get stressed out or I'd get resentful towards others. You know, I had a lot of issues with people pleasing, and what I found out was actually codependency. And there's a big difference between being a codependent and being people-pleasing, as opposed to being selfless and helpful to others. You know, and I found that I was doing that a lot, and it was causing a lot of destruction in my life and a lot of resentment towards myself. And then, even though I was trying to help others, I'd like either expect something in return, or I'd want them to recognize it. And I wasn't getting any of those things, so then I'd go out and ruin my life with like booze. Another goal I used to have was I used to love to party and get loaded. You know, that was another one of my goals. Many of you know that we had a lot of fun in our teen years and 20s, and things changed for me where I became chemically dependent on booze, and all of a sudden I had all these consequences, and I was ruining relationships. I was so focused on more money, more status, trying to find some career, you know, owning property, lots of cars, shopping, more women, you know. And I would get some of these things, but then it's like, okay, well then what? You know, and being an addict of myself, the way I am, I never had enough, and just like booze, you know, I was never satisfied. So my goal was I had to be the man. I just had to. I mean, I wasn't very successful at it, but in my mind, in these alcoholic psychoses, I was doing a good job of it. Yeah. So today, through doing some soul searching and taking some honest appraisal of my life, I'm proud of being able to live through these circumstances and get through all this kind of stuff that I've brought upon myself, and, you know, self-inflicted, and I can carry a message of faith and inspiration to others. My selfishness and egotistical agenda harmed many, many people in relationships in the past, and I'm not intending to do that anymore. Today I want to spread the good news, man. I want everybody to feel good, and I want everybody to get along. But it's great if I want these things, but what am I doing to represent that? You know, my peace and serenity is usually based on the quality of my relationships. And right now, I got no problems with anybody, as far as I know, unless somebody's not telling me something. So, co-workers, friends, roommates, you know, most of them will probably testify that they're all good right now. I got a lot of people that can hold me accountable to my word. So if I'm full of it, they'll call me on it, or they'll probably say something on this little segment. Anyway, another great reading was on the 24 Hours a Day book that I spoke of earlier from October the 1st, just the other day. It says, where am I failing? Are there some things I do not feel like doing? Am I held back by self-consciousness or fear? Self-consciousness is a form of pride. It is a fear that something may happen to you. What happens to you is not very important. The impression you make on others does not depend so much on the kind of a job you do as on your sincerity and honesty of a purpose. Am I holding back because I'm afraid of not making a good impression? Well, let's get back to why I'm doing these segments and videos. You know, I know my intentions are for others in these upcoming broadcasts and to be useful and helpful. I just want other people to feel better, like I feel better. I want to give them hope, because these readings that I came across and these lectures and all this stuff, they all gave me help, and I want the people who supplied these to me or gave these ideas to me, I want to make sure they get credit too. So maybe somebody else will go out and get their literature, or go out and seek their knowledge and their inspiration and their wisdom, and they'll be able to change their lives too. You know, I had to think about this, and it's like, why didn't I do this sooner? Well, the idea didn't really struck up, but for certain circumstances and events and opportunities I've had in the past few months, these ideas came up. And you know, I know that there's going to be people who are going to criticize me and gossip and all that. It's going to be okay. You know, I know what my intentions are. So if I'm so concerned about what other people are going to say about me doing these presentations, that I'm obsessed with my reputation. Well, you know what the best way for me to change my reputation is to change my character. So if I'm focused on my character, and I can honestly say that I'm living a life of integrity through my character, then I really got nothing to worry about. So I can go out here and I can try to, you know, make a difference in somebody else's life for the good. You know, I'd like to share something, another thing I came across. I was listening to a lecture by the great Dr. Wayne Dyer. I'm not sure what year it was, but the first time I heard the lecture was 2008. I got one of his audio books on CD, and he was giving these lectures. And so I bought the lecture also. And he recited Mother Teresa's "do it anyway" statement. So Mother Teresa, she said, "People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and gain some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway." Again, that's from Mother Teresa, and I think that's beautiful, and she should be commended for that. Very, very inspiring. So it doesn't really matter what anybody thinks. I'm not going to say I don't care what anybody thinks, but I know what my intentions are, and you know, if we all had some compassion and wanted others to do better, we probably would receive the same stuff back in return. We wouldn't be so obsessed with gaining stuff and acquiring things. I drove myself crazy for years, acquiring stuff and trying to get more, and I drove myself to insanity. I harmed a lot of other people. In the upcoming weeks, I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff about my life based on the literature I've come across, and hopefully somebody can identify it. Me sharing my sins and being transparent and expose myself to the public is not so much of a problem for me, but it may be for others. And I find that if when people start exposing themselves to others in a genuine way to get better, we all get better in return. So anyway, I want you all to have a great day. I'm sitting here at Greer Park in Palo Alto. It's a gorgeous afternoon. The birds are singing as usual. And go A's. I'll see you next time on the Dan Banchero Show.